From vandalizing his neighborhood to breaking NHL rules, these are the 10 things you didn't know about Connor Bedard. And I bet you didn't know Bedard was fined by the NHL before his first puck drop. You see, 4 years ago, Gary Bettman implemented a new rule stating all players who entered the NHL after 2019 have to wear their helmet during warm-up. In a bold move, Bedard and fellow rookie Kevin Korchinski both took their rookie laps and warm-ups without helmets. Gary Bettman hit Connor with a $2,500 fine. But don't worry, the Blackhawks told Bedard and the other rookie they'll pay off their fines.
Welcome back for another season. Connor, welcome to the NHL, man.
Alright, so that fine wasn't too bad. But at number 9, you probably didn't know that Bedard has a dark past.
Because you're not in the NHL yet,
No.
and it's like, holy jeez. Like,
You see, Connor grew up in Vancouver, where crime is legal. They decriminalized drug use and even adopted safe injection sites around the city.
But it's different now. I mean, I think, if I was kind of coming up in a time with no social media, then, people wouldn't really know.
And Connor may have been a victim of the loose laws. See, he got caught vandalizing his neighborhood as a teenager.
Did you ever call the cops?
Alright, maybe he didn't vandalize his property on purpose, but he definitely shattered a few windows in his childhood. But hey, if all it takes is a few shattered windows and bases to become the best hockey player in the world, yeah, you can sign me up. But one thing Connor definitely didn't sign up for were family vacation. I mean, this dude said no to a trip to Hawaii. His family had to straight up beg him to go on the trip.
I always wear one of these every day.
You're like Linequist. Wear it on the plane.
Yeah.
King, wear it.
And he only went on the promise that he could bring his hockey stick and his skates. An employee at the airport remarked it was the first time in their 18 years of working there that they saw someone bring a hockey stick into Hawaii. All right, now that's dedication right there. And it all paid off because at number 7, Connor turned the entire hockey world on its head. Now that insane goal sent Team Canada to the semis, and he eventually led them to a gold medal championship. And during the 7-game tournament, he somehow managed 9 goals and 14 assists, eventually leading him to receiving the IIHF Male Player of the Year award. But his rise to stardom was stranger than you probably realize. Because at number 6, I bet you didn't know that he almost had his career ruined for good. And real quick, if you're liking this video, make sure to subscribe. We'll be covering every hockey player just like this. Back in 2017, Bedard broke his wrist while playing in a game. But it wasn't just any break. It was along his growth plate.
And it was way more serious than we had at first thought anyway. Because it was near the growth plate, and if you worked it too hard or hit it again or something, it could affect the growth of your arm.
Any further damage would have put his wrist out forever. And once Connor heard that, he didn't use that arm for 12 weeks.
That he didn't use his arm for, I think it was 12 weeks, wasn't it?
But the doctor didn't say anything about using his left arm.
I just had, one hand on my stick, top hand, and, stick handle with one hand, trying to shoot on your backhand, I guess.
And after practicing with just his forearm for 3 months, he developed the insanely fast shot we've come to associate him with. He still got some bulking up to do though. He only stands at 5'10", making him one of the shortest players in the NHL. Putting on some weight might help him when taking shots like this.
Kurashev and go.
Yeah, that had to hurt. Nothing says welcome to the NHL like a clean hit in the middle of the ice. That hit would sideline him for 6 weeks. And even though that play resulted in a broken jaw, it's still not as crazy as number 5. Because I bet you didn't know that Connor started playing in the NHL at the age of 14. Yeah, you heard that right. You see, a year earlier at age 13, he was featured in the Hockey News article and some local newspapers, and this put him on notice. So the following year, he was invited to the Boys of Summer Hockey League. So at age 14, he was playing in actual games with some of the NHL's top talents, including Matt Barzal, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Morgan Riley. And the craziest part is the 14-year-old kid didn't look out of place. But what happened next just doesn't make sense. Because at number 4, Hockey Canada granted Bedard exceptional player status. It's an extremely rare clause that allows underage hockey players to enter the major junior circuit early. It started with John Tavares back in 2005, and the craziest part is, to date, only 8 players have ever received it. And what's even wilder, Bedard is the first and only WHL player to ever have been granted it. And just 1 month later, Bedard was selected first overall by the Regina Pats, making him the first ever player to be drafted first overall in the WHL and the NHL. Now, with all the hype, it's no surprise that this dude was bringing in millions as a teenager.
From the Regina Pats, the Western Hockey League, Connor Bedard.
You see, his presence started to attract large crowds both on and off the ice. But when he was with Regina, he played against his hometown team, the Vancouver Giants. Something wild happened. The matchup was so heavily talked about, it drew over 5,000 fans, nearly double the Giants' season average. And that was just a start, because this dude single-handedly sold out the Saddle Dome.
Pretty cool to see all the people come out, and the boys are pretty excited.
I mean, we're talking about a kid selling out an NHL arena. I don't think that's ever happened before. Even the Flames can't sell out the Scotiabank. And for reference, the average WHL attendance was only 3,500. This is stuff straight out of a dream. And this next kid definitely thought he was dreaming too. Before we get into the final two, we gotta throw in an honorable mention, because I bet you didn't know that Connor Bedard straight up changed the kid's life. I mean, just look at this kid's face. He doesn't know what to think. What a nice moment. This Bedard kid definitely seems like a nice guy. But just wait for this next moment, because I bet you didn't know that some NHL players are calling Connor straight up weird. Yeah, I get that everyone has their superstitions, but Connor refuses to let anyone touch his stick. He'll leave it at the entrance to the locker room so everyone knows it is his.
I think I don't like my blade ever touching the ground or people touching my stick or anything, so I stick rack, I put my stick all the way at the end and hang it the wrong way up so no one can touch it, everyone.
Though on opening night, the equipment manager didn't realize this and accidentally moved it on him. And if you're a fan, don't even think about getting a feel of his wood, because this guy's not gonna let that happen. But it gets weirder, because Connor has the absolute weirdest tape job in the NHL. He's one of the few that go toe to heel. This creates slightly less spin, but more velocity.
White tape or black tape?
White. I was actually black till I was 15, and then thought white looked a little better maybe. So.
Whoa. I didn't know where you were going with that for a second there, Connor. All right, let's just move on. Because at number one, Connor once received a call from the GOAT when he was just a kid.
When I got exceptional status, Wayne Gretzky, he called to say congrats and stuff. I couldn't really speak, because, he's a pretty good player, obviously, so.
I mean, if I got a call from the Great One, I probably wouldn't believe it either. But the funny part is, Gretzky's also the reason why Connor chose number 98. You see, Connor wanted a number that wasn't popularized. That way, when people ask, who wears number 98, he can respond, I do. Now, some of those facts were pretty crazy, but what's even more crazy is this video right here. The craziest moments in NHL history. Go ahead, click on it. What are you waiting for?